eating clean, you're training hard, and you're sleeping enough, but does something still feel off? Your energy's dipping mid-afternoon, your recovery feels slower than it should be, and your focus in the gym just isn't there? Before you begin to blame your program or your sleep, there's a good chance the answer is hiding in something that most people completely overlook. That is vitamin B. Not one vitamin, but 8 of them in fact. And if even one of them is running low, the whole system can begin to break down. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a deep dive into vitamin B, looking at what it actually is, the 8 different types that you need to know about, and why it matters for your performance and your health, and whether you actually need to supplement it, or whether food alone will have you covered. So let's get into it. So first things first, and that is that vitamin B isn't just a single nutrient. It's a family of 8 water-soluble vitamins, and that water-soluble part is rather important. Unlike fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamin A, D, E and K, which your body stores in your fat tissues, B vitamins will dissolve in water. That means that your body doesn't really hold on to them for very long. You do need a consistent supply of them through your diet, and any excess will just get flushed out through your urine rather than building up in toxic levels. These 8 vitamins are grouped together because they share something in common, and that is that they all play a role in how your body converts food into energy. They're essentially the engine room of your metabolism, but each one has its own specific job, which is why understanding them individually matters quite a lot, especially if you're training regularly. So let's break them down one by one. The first one is vitamin B1 or thiamine. Thiamine is the starting gun of your energy system. It helps your body convert carbohydrates into usable fuel. Specifically, it is essential for breaking down glucose. For anyone who is training hard and relying on carbs for performance, B1 is absolutely fundamental. It also supports nerve function and heart health, and you'll find it in whole grains, pork, legumes and nuts. Deficiency is very rare in developed countries, but healthy alcohol consumption can deplete your vitamin B1 levels significantly. Next up is vitamin B2 or riboflavin. Riboflavin is the workhorse. It is involved in 2 major coenzymes, FAD and FMN, that are central to energy production in almost every cell in your body. It also helps your body process the other B vitamins, making it sort of the connector in the system. Beyond energy, it plays a role in maintaining healthy skin, your eyes and your nerve function. Good sources of vitamin B2 include eggs, dairy, lean meats and leafy greens. A fun fact for you is that riboflavin turns your urine bright yellow, so if you've ever taken a B complex supplement or a Berocca and noticed that, now you know why. Next up we have vitamin B3 or niacin. And niacin is involved in over 400 enzymatic reactions in the body, more than almost any other nutrient. It's critical for converting nutrients into ATP, which is the actual energy currency your muscles use. It also plays a role in your DNA repair and has been studied for its effect on cholesterol levels. You can get this from chicken, tuna, turkey, peanuts and brown rice. High-dose niacin supplements can cause what is called niacin flush, which is a harmless but uncomfortable redness and tingling, usually in your face and your chest. You've got vitamin B5 next, which is pantothenic acid. And pantothenic acid is involved in the synthesis of coenzyme A, which is used in virtually every metabolic pathway in the body, which does things such as break down your fats, your carbs and your proteins alike. It's also involved in the production of hormones in the adrenal glands. The name comes from the Greek word for everywhere, and that gives you a hint as to how widely distributed it is in food. Deficiency is genuinely very rare, and you'd find it in almost anything you eat, from meat and fish to vegetables and dairy. Next up we have vitamin B6, which is pyridoxine. B6 is one of the most relevant vitamin B for athletes. It's involved in over 100 enzyme reactions, many of which relate to protein metabolism. So if you're eating high protein and training to build muscle, B6 is working very hard in the background. It also supports the production of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, and it plays a role in your immune function. You'll find it in chicken, salmon, potatoes and bananas. Worth noting though, that B6 is one of the few B vitamins where excessive supplementation over a long period can actually become problematic, potentially causing some nerve issues, so more of this isn't always better. Next up we have vitamin B7 or biotin. Biotin is probably one of the ones that you've seen marketed the most. It's all in almost every hair, skin and nail supplement on the market, and while it does play a role in your healthy hair and your skin, its actual function in the body is far more fundamental than just that. Biotin is essential for metabolizing fatty acids, glucose and amino acids. It's also very important during pregnancy for fetal development. Deficiency is quite uncommon, but eating large amounts of raw egg whites, which contain a protein that binds biotin and prevents absorption, can lead to it over time. Cooking eggs does solve that completely. Next up we have vitamin B9, which is folate or folic acid. Folate is the natural form found in food. Folic acid is a synthetic form found in your supplements and in fortified foods. B9 is critical for DNA synthesis and cell division, which makes it especially important during periods of rapid growth, which can include pregnancy, but also for anyone in a hard training cycle where muscle repair and cell regeneration are happening constantly. It also works alongside vitamin B12, which we'll get to in just a moment, to regulate homocysteine levels, which is a marker linked to cardiovascular health. Best food surfaces include dark leafy greens, legumes and avocado. And finally we have, as promised, vitamin B12 or cobalamin. B12 is arguably the most important B vitamin to be aware of, especially if you eat little or no animal products. B12 is essential for the formation of red blood cells, neurological function and DNA synthesis. A deficiency in B12 won't show up overnight. It can take years to develop, but when it does, the consequences are serious. You can suffer from things such as heavy fatigue, cognitive decline, nerve damage and anemia. Unlike the other V vitamins, B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products, so your meat, fish, eggs and dairy. So if you're a vegan, this one is the one that you have to supplement and it's not optional. So now you know the 8 types of B vitamins, but let's zoom out and look at why, as a whole, the B vitamin complex matters, especially if you are training. So first off, there is energy production. Every single B vitamin is involved in energy metabolism in some way. Whether your fuel is coming from carbohydrates, from fat or from protein, B vitamins are the facilitators that make that conversion happen. Training without adequate B vitamins is like trying to run an engine on low-grade fuel. It works, but not optimally. You've got muscle repair growth as well, which B6, B9 and B12 are all directly involved in protein metabolism and cell synthesis. When you are in a caloric surplus building muscle or in a deficit trying to preserve it, these vitamins are actively supporting that process. You've also got mental performance and mood. The B vitamins, in particular B6, B9 and B12, are essential for producing neurotransmitters. Your motivation to train, your mood and your focus in the gym, they are all underpinned by brain chemistry that B vitamins help to regulate. And finally we have red blood cell production. B9 and B12 are both needed to produce healthy red blood cells. Red blood cells will carry oxygen into your muscles, and if production of them is impaired, your endurance will drop, recovery will slow and fatigue becomes constant. There is also nervous system health, which B1, B6 and B12 all support nerve function, and this matters for muscle contraction, muscle coordination and long-term neurological health. So I imagine that this question I'm about to ask is the question that most of you are actually here for, and the honest answer to the question of whether or not you need to supplement vitamin B is that it depends pretty much entirely on your diet and your situation. If you eat a nice balanced varied diet and include animal products, you're likely getting adequate B vitamins without the need for supplementation. The possible exception is B12, because if you're not eating red meat or fish regularly, it is worth keeping an eye on. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, then B12 supplementation is absolutely essential. Full stop. Plant foods contain no meaningful B12, so you should also be paying attention to riboflavin, which is B2, B6 and folate, as these can be much lower in plant-heavy diets depending on the variety. If you're in a hard training block, your B vitamin requirements will increase, particularly B1, B2, B3 and B6, because your metabolism is having to run a lot harder. For most people, this can be met by just eating more food overall, but if your diet is quite restricted or is rather low variety, a B complex supplement is a reasonable insurance policy. If you're under chronic stress or drinking alcohol regularly, both of those things will deplete your B vitamins, particularly thiamine, B6 and folate, so it is worth considering supplementation in those cases. If you're pregnant or planning to be, then B9, which is folic acid, supplementation is medically recommended, typically around 400 micrograms per day, just to reduce the risk of neural tube defects. So a few practical points here. B-complex supplements are generally quite low risk because, by them being water soluble, excess will be excreted rather than stored. The main exception is B6, which is in very high doses over extended periods. So look for methylated forms of B12 such as methoclobamine or folate methyfolate. These are more bioavailable than the cheaper forms in some supplements, and a straightforward blood test from your GP can tell you whether your B12 or folate levels are actually very low, which is a far better starting point than just guessing. So to sum up, vitamin B isn't just one thing, it's actually 8 things, and collectively they are running the background processes that make everything else in your body work properly. Your energy, recovery, mood, muscle growth, neurological health, all of those things are impacted by vitamin B. So if you're training hard and feel like something's off, it might be one of the first places to start looking. And that is all for now. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you're new around here. That's all for now. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Peace!